Hello everyone, this is Miss Chelsea, and today we'll be learning to write linear functions given a table or 2 points. To write a linear equation from a table, we need our slope and our y-intercept. Remember, slope is change in y over change in x, or m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That means that to find the slope, we will need to find 2 points. Once we find our rate of change using our 2 points, we then need to find our initial or starting value. This will go in place of our y-intercept. It is the output when the input is 0. If 0 is one of your given inputs, this is easy. If it is not one of your given inputs, then you will need to plug in an x and y value from a point and then solve for b to get your y-intercept. So let's try an example. The table below shows the cost of hiring an electrician. Use this information to write a linear function in the form y equals mx plus b to represent the total cost of the rental over time. First things first, let's figure out 2 points from our table. I'm going to use 0.75 and 115, but you can choose 2 different points if you wish. Our change in y is y2 minus y1, so 115 minus 75. Our change in x is x2 minus x1, so 1 minus 0. Doing both subtractions will give us 40 over 1, which is 40. Now that we have our slope or rate of change of 40, we need to find our initial value or y-intercept. Since we have the point 0.75, our y-intercept is 75. Let's plug what we know into our equation and we get y equals 40x plus 75. Now pause the video and try the next 2 practice problems. When you are done, resume the video and check your answers. Looking at example 5, we can write the point 0 to 50 and 1 350. y2 minus y1 will give us 350 minus 250, which is 100. x2 minus x1 gives us 1 minus 0, which is 1. 100 divided by 1 is 100, so our slope or our rate of change is 100. Our y-intercept is 250 because we have the point 0 to 50. Plugging this into our linear equation, we have y equals 100x plus 250. Now let's look at example 6. As you can see here, if we have m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, we can plug in the x and y values from our first 2 points, 148 and 284. We then get 84 minus 48, which is 36, and 2 minus 1, which is 1. So 36 divided by 1 is 36. Now let's calculate our y-intercept. To do this, we're going to use our equation, y equals mx plus b, and plug in a y-coordinate, a slope, and the x-coordinate that matches that y-coordinate. So we're going to have 48 equals 36 times 1 plus b. 36 times 1 is 36. We can move that 36 to the other side to get b by itself, and 48 minus 36 will give us 12, so b is 12. Our y-intercept or initial value is 12. We now have y equals 36x plus 12 as our equation. Finally, let's look at what happens when we are given 2 points. To put this equation in slope-intercept form, we will of course need to find the slope, so we're going to use m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Where x1 and y1 are the x and y coordinates of the first point, and x2 and y2 are the x and y coordinates of the second point. Once we calculate our slope, we can then plug that and one of our points into point slope form. That would be y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. Finally, we will convert the equation to slope-intercept form by getting y by itself. So let's try an example. On Friday, the Siffords went bowling and spent $30 on 2 games. They went to the same bowling alley on Saturday night and spent $39 on 3 games. Use the 2 points given to write a linear equation in the form y equals mx plus b that could be used to find the total cost of bowling based on the number of games played. First of all, we know our 2 points are 2, 30 and 3, 39. That means 2 is our x1, 30 is our y1, 3 is our x2, and 39 is our y2. That means our slope is 39 minus 30 over 3 minus 2, which is 9 over 1. We can plug our slope of 9 as well as our first point, 2, 30, into point slope form. We then get y minus 30 equals 9 times the quantity x minus 2. distribute the 9 to get us 9x minus 18. Then we need to get y by itself, so we're going to move that minus 30 to the other side by making it plus 30. This makes our equation y equals 9x plus 12. This means that the Siffords pay a $12 fee every time they go bowling, and then an additional $9 for every game they play. Now, pause the video, try the last two practice problems, and resume the video when you are done to check your answers. In problem 7, Harry was able to drive 120 miles on 5 gallons of gas. The following week, Harry had a full tank of gas and was able to drive 336 miles using all 14 gallons of gas. Use the 2 points given to write a linear equation in the form y equals mx plus b that could be used to find the total number of miles driven given the number of gallons of gas. Writing our 2 points, 5, 120 and 14, 336, we have x1 is 5, x2 is 14, y1 is 120, and y2 is 336. To find our slope, we are going to subtract 336 minus 120, and on the bottom, we're going to subtract 14 minus 5. This gives us the fraction 216 over 9. After dividing 216 by 9, we get 24. To find the y-intercept, I'm actually going to try doing the same thing we did when we looked at a table. So plug in 5 for our x and 120 for our y and 24 for our slope. We then have 120 equals 24 times 5 plus b, and 24 times 5 is 120. So that means that when we move our 120 to the other side, we got to subtract it, and we will end up with b equals 0. Our equation is then y equals 24x. In the final practice problem, a taxi cab ride charges an initial fee upon pickup and then an additional fee based on the number of miles traveled. Marie paid $25 for 7 miles and then $31 for 9 miles another time. Using the 2 points given to write a linear equation in the form y equals mx plus b that could be used to find the total cost given the number of miles traveled. From this problem, we get the 2 points 725 and 931. That means that our x1 is 7, y1 is 25, x2 is 9, and y2 is 31. Since m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, we get 31 minus 25 over 9 minus 7. That gives us 6 over 2, which is just 3. Now that we've got our slope of 3 and we've got a point, we go ahead and plug that into the point slope formula. That will give us y minus 25 equals 3 times the quantity x minus 7. Distribute the 3 since we don't want parentheses, and we get 3x minus 21. To get y by itself, we move the 25 to the other side, so plus 25. That gives us y equals 3x plus 4. Since this is in proper slope-intercept form, we are done. This means that the taxi cab ride charges an initial fee of $4 for pickup and an additional $3 for every mile.